All right, folks, welcome in. We are officially in round number 3 of Titans League Platinum. Thank you so much for the support. We're not quite at the midway point, but I guess like 1.5 games in, we are at the midway point of the season. And right now, things could not look any worse for Running. Running has started 0-6 in his group, and so improvement will need to start, and improvement will have to happen very quickly. Now, we have new patch, which means new balance changes. There's new water balance, so there's now hulks on water. The way fires and galleys interact are very different. So this is our first dive in of the new water balance in a tournament. And players have had some time to know this was coming. Players have had some time to prepare, but obviously it is still new. And players have played this game thousands of times to get a feel for the game. A change like that will take everybody some time. We've got the Persians for Lewis. We have the Lithuanians for Running. And just a quick look at what the group looks like right now. That is incorrect, and we need to fix that. Never mind. We add all these new features, and they say, haha, they're not going to work when we're live. That is not what I wanted to show you. But let's try the other button that's really cool. What about this? All of them? Please work? Oh, my freaking God. Okay, well, hope you guys enjoyed seeing some of the results that already happened. We will fix that later. I am so sorry. Basically, it is 0 wins for Running, and it is 3 wins for Lewis. I swear it all works before we're live. It all works before we're live, and then we're live, and then, you know, here we are. So, both town center spots are solid. Both civs actually have a very similar start, and it should even out if the players are playing it properly. So, in Running's case, you get the extra 100 food. That extra 100 food means you don't need to be on food as early. And then you can chop trees, which leads to the faster fishing ships. For the Persians, you get plus 50 food and plus 50 wood. So it's similar. You don't need to be on wood or on food as early. And you start with the extra wood. So basically, Lewis needs to bring in the elephant a little bit faster. Running will probably bring in the elephant around now. And if this is all labbed out perfectly from both of them, and that's not necessarily a guarantee, population should be somewhat even. The other small thing there is the Persian town centers work faster. So with the Persian town center bonus there, the Persians should have a slightly higher vill count and population count. But anyways, yeah, Running's going to bring in his very first elephant right now and actually saves the rhino here. But it's a nomad start. Players will be scouting instead with the water buffalo. Picking up these additional water buffalo has proved to be very important. Because the last thing you want to do on this map is build a farm. It's really fish heavy, and sometimes you'll be competing on water. So sometimes pulling a villager, walking around, collecting those buffaloes is important. Even bringing in the extra elephants can be nice. But the last 3 days, we've focused primarily on Silver League. And in Silver League, there's a super heavy focus on fast castles. And I just wonder, is that actually the best way to play it? Especially with the water change too? Like, maybe being greedy, maybe going fast castle is something that could be done in Platinum League as well. I definitely think the map is going to have some meta shifts, both with the water balance, but also with what some of the Platinum players are going to see from the other leagues, if they weren't already paying attention. Running is scouting for the dock right now with that water buffalo. A strategy we saw the last couple days is forward docks on this map. But I'm not in love with forward docks against Persians. You're never going to take their docks down. Their docks are just extremely strong. Honestly, I'm not really sure what I like against Persians. Because, like, Persians just seem super solid. It's Lewis's first pick on the draft. So that was my point. We'll see what all the players end up thinking. But what I said at the start of the day was, like, yes, some of these new civilizations have some strong bonuses, and yes, they're very different. And yes, there's, of course, going to be some anxiety and some fear, right? Players are like, oh, no, the new civilizations could be OP. That's like the clickbait era we live in, right? Oh, this is OP. But they weren't the first bans. They weren't the first picks when there were civs remaining. Yes, they're very strong, but we live in an era of very strong civilizations. So at least based on the draft, while we do have Incas and we do have, was it Muisca or was it Mapuche that Running picked? I actually forget now. It might end up fitting some of the balance of the other civs here. Running's going for the barracks. It was Mapuche? Okay. And running is on the way to feudal age. So this is clearly going to be man-at-arms. For Lewis, he's going to play more of the water approach, I'm guessing. And since your town center is right next to the golds, you don't need a mining camp there. Pretty clearly, Lewis is going to shift everything off of food, play super heavy on wood, because the fish is going to be his food income for now. Would expect a second dock from him, and he is going to build a second dock here now. The running is running forward. I do not think running can play the same style as Lewis. Lewis will always try and play whatever the meta is, right? And water has dominated this map. But what boat does he make? Does he make hulks? Does he make galleys? Does he make fires? I don't know. And there's the first militia for running. He needs to know the TC would be around there. He actually has very nice scouting. This feels like an early tower from running, maybe an early archer range. Running is also building a second dock, so he might have some resistance on water. But you cannot lose your militia to the town center here. That would be really bad. I think he knows where the town center is. I would like to see running make ships instead of the immediate archer range. Because you could tell Lewis is already going to have to adapt to your man-at-arms. And there's the early tower. Lewis doesn't see the tower. He knows about the first militia, and the other two are attacking the house. And oh boy! It's time to Hawk, baby. Here we go. We got Hawks on the way. See, a Hawk is a melee ship they've added. Now, there's been some balance changes since their testing. Basically, the way the water triangle is supposed to work is fires are good against galleys. Hawks are good against fires. Galleys take a very long time to mass. So if galleys take a long time to mass, then maybe Hawks makes the most sense. We'll see them in action. They have a grapple effect, but there's our Hawks, guys. And they're on the move for Lewis. Still getting pressured. The tower now goes up, which will put pressure on the wood line. And running is also making Hawks. So it's going to be grapple v grapple here. A Hawk coming down this way could maybe find the fishing ships for Lewis. If Lewis isn't careful, Lewis is not producing the Hawks because he's off of wood. He went for the archer range really quickly. So archers are obviously good here, but then he could end up losing water. It's a very, very difficult map to get right with how you spend your early resources. I actually really like running's build here. Here's the Hawk in action. Look at the grapple. Look at it. Look at it. Hook those fishing ships down. It is certainly unique. And that should be a fishing ship down. Oh, but you can garrison the fishing ships now. Important detail, you can now garrison fishing ships inside of docks. And there's been a lot of conversation on that. Because also the docks fire arrows. It should be a more defensive meta on water with that bonus. Especially with the Persians. Obviously the fishing ships aren't working. Meanwhile, the archers from Lewis did a good job to force these man-at-arms back. We got 2 more Hawks going in. We got 2 Hawks coming in this way as well, which has gone untracked. The fishing ships have to be sent back to work for Lewis. And the fishing ships could still end up getting sniped here. There's a lot of chaos right now. Both players have done a great job continually producing vills. I still prefer Lewis's position because he was able to get double bit axe. He's Persians. Persians have a lot of bonuses that bail you out, and he has saved most of his fishing ships. He will lose, I think, his second one there. And running is tracking him on the outside. Lewis will go for a counterattack. If running sees this, though, it's so critical that he sees this. He's Lithuanians, and he has the fast skirm, so he can chase that down. Great game from running here. Lewis's fishing ships are still spending time inside of the dock. Over here, Lewis will lose his first Hawk. And Lewis, he said to me when we covered some games together, he was just saying, like, other people 3-0'd running, and now he's under a lot of pressure, and the worst thing for him is if running were to 3-0 him. But I have to say, running's opening has been very sharp here. You have a decision to make in the off time in between sets. It's like, do you just give up and do you just accept that you're done, or do you continue to fight your way out of platinum? This is a very nice opening for him. And running also building the blacksmith in the middle here. Just really awkward for Lewis. I think Lewis wanted to go to Castle Age. Now he will have to stay deep in Feudal Age, and he's dropping a stable for the skirms. That's a very nice play. And also, I still think running has big problems here. Running is not... He doesn't have any farms. He has to drop a house there because he gets housed. He'll go out to take the deer. He's getting pushed this way. He's still harassing over here. So the idea, guys, behind some of the water changes, if I were to summarize it, I imagine from the devs' point of view, is they don't want water to be as snowbally. And so, without the garrison, running would have already won water, and then it could just be, okay, game over on water. So now you have some comeback conditions. Now there's some creative play available to save yourself in these situations. Some people are going to like it. Some people are going to hate it, right? Because some people are like, well, Age of Empires is already a defensive game, and if Age of Empires is already a defensive game, we kind of feel like maybe we shouldn't make it more defensive. But, you know, that's the situation there. Lewis has certainly used the bonuses, but he is getting out-hawked right now. And there's a lot of hawks, and I think Lewis will eventually... Well, it's actually fairly close. A 10 hawks versus 9. I guess we don't really know. The running skirmishers are still sitting in the middle of the map. Running doesn't know, though, that Lewis has scouts yet. This is the critical thing to focus on now. And Running also can't build the defensive tower. If he doesn't have army, if he gets pressured on the front, he could have some big issues. And here comes Lewis with those scouts and archers. Lewis will also go to the hunt on the side. This has been a very messy game. We also have the demos. Now, in the test patch, the demos were very weak. They've now increased the strength of the demos. At first glance, I find the fact that the demos and the Hawks share the same sail is maybe a little visually confusing. And there might not be a lot of time to pay attention to that because the scouts get the villager kill here. Let's see. Demos coming in. These Hawks are a melee ship, right? So the demos should be very strong. Let's see how it lands for Running. Demo goes in. That felt a little underwhelming. It's not what he would have wanted. Running could have some issues. Might be worth buying stone for a tower here. But the demo goes in again. I mean, I think the demo's still going to change the fight. Still didn't... It felt like ever so slightly weaker than what we were used to. Lewis is distracted on the water right now. Running isn't even looking here. They're so focused on the water. Like, Lewis noticed that he didn't notice, though. The Running still microing down here. Lewis still holding. The multitasking is on the shoreline. Running is having some issues. Gets the garrison, loses some villagers. His eco is messy, and he will lose all of his ships down here as well. Nice shot from Lewis to hold on, but Running is on the way to Castle Age. And Castle Age can change a lot in this game. Also, the Hawks over here from Running, sniping more fishing ships. Can he get the last one? Can he focus on that? Get it? Oh, no, that could have been another fishing ship kill. But, I mean, if Running can make a stable here, and he can make a couple knights can deal with what Lewis has out here. I mean, Running's eco is completely off, but he's got the market to help balance it, and he is safe. I also don't hate continuing to play water in Castle Age. If you play water in Castle Age, you can just have this crazy fish boom. And deny your opponent's fish, of course, as well. So, nothing about this has been pretty for either player. They've both been very evenly matched in what they're bringing to the table here. And you can just tell that there's been a lot of focus on the outside of the map here. And Running garrisons his dock. And so he has some arrow fire with the garrison. He patrols in. And he will win this fight. Lewis expecting to win the fight because he had to clear up in the south. But by the time he got over here, Running stabilized very nicely. Nice fight for Running. It's exactly what I want to see, right? It's so good for Running to show this level of fight, but you gotta win. You gotta win. You don't get rewarded based on how much you've improved game to game. You've actually got to get the W here. I think first step should be the warships upgrade, which will upgrade all the ships. So now you get the warships upgrade. That will upgrade every single ship. A knight or two would be good as well. I don't actually have the warships upgrade memorized now, guys. Is it the same? Is it listed here? I actually don't know if it's listed here because it's not like a unit type anymore. Obviously, if the tech starts coming in, it will show. But, oh, man, this is so bad for Running. He had such a good advantage. He's just overextending. I think it's because he was getting towered here. He's sending knights forward right now. Just back and forth on water. Hulking it up. To any of the anti-Hulkers, remember, it was always just like straight fires on this map before this, right? The jury's still out on some of the water balance for me, but the one ship type has been replaced with another here. Archers will get sniped here. That's good for running. He still doesn't have the upgraded ships. He seems to be going heavier into land. And the knights are coming forward. Lewis is aiming to wall up everything. 50 villagers or 50 economy for both. 9 military for both. But running does have 7 fishing ships, which he will need to keep protected here. So Lewis is still producing heavier on water. He's just walling out the knights on land. Amazing job from Lewis here. Like, look at the amount he's had to wall. Not easy. But he's holding on. So with his Civ, he could maybe end up making some camels. Ooh, this is bad for running, though. This is really bad. He'll get hulked over here. And the hulks will lead to the fishing ship kills. There's not a lot of food economy for either player right now. So the fishing ships are still key. It seems like running was planning on still having the fish, because I see another dock on the right side, but he will lose his fishing ships. Amazing find for Lewis. The running is running right through the hawks from Lewis. He's still over here attacking with houses. He does have monks getting relics right now, so the Lithuanians get +1 attack on their knights per relic. He will also drop a second TC. You get food income when your town center completes. The arrow fire does not do a ton here, but it might do enough to kill a couple ships. Knight will loop around. Lewis is dropping archer ranges to play cav archers. He also has a camel. He got bloodlines and he got forging. He should be able to win the fight against the knights. Monks are going to be really valuable here for running. My chat has become a discussion board on boats. Crazy. Normally, chat's like 50% trolling me, 50% asking questions. Well, maybe like 40-40 and then 20%. Whoa, this is super cool. You know. But yeah, I mean, it's interesting times, right? Interesting times to get used to all of this. Oh man, this siege workshop is so critical for running. It's so critical. And the conversions as well will be so important. Every monk is so valuable in this scenario. There's 2 of them there. The knights are still around to the side here for running. Maybe it's better off looping up to the north here. If he had his knights here, he'd be in a better position. Can he use his cav archer to kill the monk? He needs that kill. He gets the kill. Honestly, I think he's got just enough here to complete the siege workshop and hold the hill. Lewis has such a better economy now. Just Persians for you. And he's transitioned into the farms very nicely. He had water buffaloes for a long period of time. Knights become really tough to justify when you have only 8 on food. And cav archers are amazing for your vill production. You spend no food on the cav archers, which means it's just wood and gold for your military. Running is losing grounds. He's lost water. It was an amazing start, but Lewis, the favorite, he's just stayed super consistent. And in an even KD game, you're always going to prefer the favorite. You're always going to prefer the Persians. And the knights are just looking like they're so weak right now. Funnily enough, they're not weak with the attack. They have +3 attack for free because of the relics. But you don't have the eco for the armor or anything. It is 15 on food, though. But usually every knight needs to be conserved in the early stages. If you make it into the later stages of the game, then things can start to change a little bit. Scorpions can be a nice addition here. Same deal with the siege, though. Like, your monks and your siege, every unit needs to be conserved. If you lose them, it becomes really awkward building up the numbers again. And Lewis focusing down the scorpions. And Lewis will get a conversion on the knight there. That's a nice find for him. That knight can technically be used against the scorpions, but there's always going to be monks behind from running. They're basically fighting over wood control right now. There is some wood for Lewis in the back here, but the hills are super valuable here. I think that running needs to cancel this scorpion after seeing this siege workshop. Maybe you can eject it for now, but I feel like if Lewis gets to a mangonel, you start to have big problems. His food eco is really nice. He might drop a 3rd town center as well. Maybe you just hold. Maybe you just hold. He's actually... His eco's flowing pretty nicely. And Yeah, with it being mainly range units for Lewis, big siege shots can obviously change the game. Lewis has to be very careful with the micro. Lewis has water, though. Would have liked to see Lewis add another dock and add fishing ships, to be honest, but I think his work is... He's already doing well enough on land where he doesn't need that. What do we think of the new flags, guys? I love them. The new flags are so cool. Every civ gets new flags now. Looks really nice. So much detail. Lewis sees a lot of knights there, plus 3 converted cav archers. And he sees the flags. And he doesn't necessarily know what is in there. He will add a ram, though. So this ram will force Running's hand a little bit. Feels like it's a 60-40 game. On another map, maybe I'd say it's like 65-35. But I think on this map, so much depends around one big fight, one big position. There go the knights. The scorpions and the mangonels hop out. The mangonel for Running. It gets targeted by Lewis's mangonel. But Running gets the attack round that gets the kill. The mangonel goes down. Lewis needs all of his conversions. Will he get them? Oh my god, that was such good unit control from Lewis. Guys, that's crazy. Persian monks are horrible. They're just horrible. They're some of the worst monks in the game. You don't get the upgrades for the HP. The fact that he's able to get those conversions there in that fight is game-changing. Without the conversions, I'm not so sure. The Siege Workshop goes down for Running. And Running, I think, felt like this fight was the game. And he's tried to dive. But again, it is just extremely costly. Another conversion for Lewis. It is extremely costly to be losing knights like this. And the Cav Archers, much easier to produce right now. I think Running's still in it. Losing the Siege Workshop was painful, though. He is distracting Lewis running around, and he still has that extra +3 attack. I think the big thing for him is armor. And, as always, I think having your own monks is going to be key here, too. Look at the amount of farms Running has. My goodness, 31 farms. Such a good job. But imagine if those monks die and they aren't healing and they didn't get those conversions. That's a very different engagement there. I think Running needs to maybe stop producing knights to get the +2 armor here. There's fishing lines. That will boost the fishing eco a little bit for Lewis. And I think the Cav Archers will just go to target the monks. That's a good play. I like that. But you have to actually get them. Lewis goes for the conversions again. And he gets 2 conversions again. Right now, Lewis has 4 knights, benefiting from the Lithuanian bonuses. He just keeps backing up. And Running keeps trying to just send it with these knights that are just not tanky enough. They're just not tanky enough. Cav Archer is just so good against knights. The armor needs to be in. And there needs to be siege to back it up. And that is just a horrible fight. And Running taps out. Lewis takes the first game. Man, that was a great game. That was back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. Ultimately, with most of the games I've seen on this map, it just gets really difficult to be able to make lots of knights, run into the choke points, and have the food eco to back it up. I like going knights a lot if you have some of the fish. Maybe that's where it went wrong for Running. But a beautiful hold from Lewis with his #1 pick. And he wins the first game. Again, I think there were some critical things here. I think the +2 armor needed to be in for Running. I'm okay with him diving if he has the armor. When you get that extra 3 attack, you feel like you need to go in for the kill. It's possible he thought he had the upgrade. It's an expensive upgrade. So maybe he clicked it at one point and thought it was in, and the game was just too crazy that he didn't really realize. And then for Lewis, the conversions were also just massive. His siege engagements and his monk conversions were just slightly better. I know it's 6 conversions versus 5, but he converted knights. Running converted a couple Cav Archers. The other aspect as well is the healing. I saw a lot of healing from Lewis, a lot of patience. I don't have that stat to show you in Capture Age, but the monks were consistently healing up armies. Lewis just played very patient there. But yeah, whoever wins this hill here, whoever wins these engagements wins the game. That's why Running had that type of energy. If he snowballs a fight here, there's no way Lewis can survive without that hill. So just those tiny details there for Running may be missing. But positive signs for him. I know he's 0-7, but like that's the best I've seen Running play so far. It was super close. Let's see if he can turn it around on his home map next. All right, let's focus up here. Running needs wins. He's 0-7 right now. Lewis will want the wins because Well, other peoples have got the wins against running. We've got Toulouse. It's a regicide map. We've got the king. So if you lose your king, you are defeated. Now, with regicide start, you do not start with any golds. And so you cannot get loom. But then the other guy is also loomless. So it's a weird situation. Your villagers would be very vulnerable if the other person could get loom. But the walk back and forth to get the gold would take a lot of time to get loom. It'd be very inefficient for your eco. They both have decided to go to the middle and build a dock with 2 vills. So far, it seems like there's a peace treaty out here. Some type of agreement that they're both just going to take the fish together. I feel like running has picked the civ that I would expect here. He's gone for the Turks. All the stone, though, is on the outside. So that's something to remember. You have to chop through these trees, and the trees have 200 wood. So it does take some time to get through there. If you really focus down individual trees, though, you can be there while you're on the way to Castle Age. We actually had a player yesterday buy the stone for a castle instead of even mining the stone. If you missed it, he did that, and then at one point he went rams and conquistadors after the tower, which is where the king was. And he took down the tower, but he lost his conquistadors to the town center before the king ended up dying. So it was like really all or nothing. It probably should have worked. It was just, yeah, it was a really crazy game. None of the platinum players are going to admit this, but they will pay attention. They will watch and see what the Silver League and Gold League guys are doing. And if there's anything that piques their interest, they're going to be like, oh, I might steal that. I might try that. Oh, interesting. So again, you can garrison the fishing ships now, which definitely changes this map. And it still fires arrows, so running just lost 1 HP. So I guess that means you can just add more fish here. Oh, Lewis is up. Look at the feudal age time from Lewis. Lewis is up. And Lewis is going for a Hulk. I think running needs to get out of the middle quickly. Maybe run to the left running. Actually, with that tower range, running is probably fine. The tower has 13 range. But with the Hulk coming out, running will probably lose his fishing ships. I just think it's unacceptable to lose your scout here. You have to save that. Lewis is playing this map aggressively. And he's going to start hulking. But can't running just hop inside the dock now? Yeah. But, okay, so he'll fish to the other side. The dock only fires arrows in certain situations. Let's see if he garrisons again. Yeah, so it will fire arrows from range, but there's a minimum range to the arrows. So if you're on top of the dock, the arrows aren't hitting you. I think as far as Lewis is concerned, he doesn't want to overinvest into this. So 2 Hawks is probably the maximum. And he probably wants to snag eco upgrades. That's another point of going fast feudal with the way. You get vills for every eco tech. So, I mean, running will be up much later. Running is dropping a barracks here. Running walling up the backside. Running seems to me like his plan is to just go like scouts or light cav or something. And he's still trying to get value from his fish. Then every time a unit shows up, he'll garrison. He garrisons. The arrows shoot at the scout, and the scout backs away. Now the fishing ships are back out. It's so nerdy, dude. And here comes the Hulk again. We'll run and get back inside the dock. He gets back inside the dock. Running's definitely late to golds. He should have the food underneath the TC. Plus, he has the farms. And I'm guessing he'll build his buildings here. And market. And is it going to be market stable? Okay, market stable. So running's going to play this arena style then. Turk's getting free light cav. When he makes it to Castle Age, he'll probably just make light cav. He'll come look and see what Lewis is up to here. Obviously, his scout is weak. He can see the flag there, so he knows the king is inside the tower. That's what both players have done. He is making hawks now. So he is going to fight back on water. And actually, what's unique about this is the flag being there from the fishing ships won't lead to Lewis suspecting anything. So now he pops out. And now Lewis is like, wait a second. He's hulking me. But then if he backs away to attack running's Hulk, there's then the arrows from the dock. Wow, there's a lot going on here. This is completely different. Yeah, so now he has to stand close to Running's dock so he can't get hit by the arrows. But now he's getting hit by the arrows because Running microed away, and now he's going to lose a Hulk. Interesting. Wow, that's really well played from Running. I thought he would... Again, he would just straight up lose water without these balance changes. He's utilized the changes. I still don't think fishing ships are extremely valuable long term, but I mean, that was supposed to be an advantage here for Lewis. You know players are going to nerd out and get every advantage they can. Running is on the way up. Running is making more scouts as well. He will back away with this scout. I think Running's just thinking, if I can't fish, you can't fish. But he does lose the scout there. He's definitely just hoping to hold the middle. But I think what could be so good for Running here, I haven't seen Lykev against Hulk yet, but ooh. Yeah, if he could just show up with a couple Lykev here and snipe the villagers, that would be very nice. Lewis is almost chopped through the back. Actually, he's still pretty far away, and this gets really jumbled up as well. That is messy. And Running will be in Castle Age. Still using the fishing ships as the arrows against the Hawks. Still hopping out with his own Hawks. Lewis micros back. That's 1 HP right now, dude. What a save. What a save. But now the scouts are here. That will soon be Lykev. Lewis loses another Hulk. And, yeah, I just don't know how good the Lykev are in these situations. I feel like you take the repair villagers, and then you're happy. Hulk. H-U-L-K. Hulk. Tiny boat with grappling hooks. Not honk. Hulk. Hulk, chat. Hulk. Sorry, I am still recovering from being sick, so maybe I can't enunciate as much as I should. Okay, Lykev will go for the Vills. I like the idea. Those villagers should never get home. Unless you feel like the Lykev still need to patrol around the map. We have the second TC for Running. Lewis is up, though, and Lewis has the villager lead because of the eco-techs. Resources collected, he's ahead. He will actually drop an archery range now, so it seems like his plan is to play Jean Bays. Jean Bays were nerfed. Again, I'm saying Jean, not John, okay? Yeah, the units were nerfed, so the production speed was nerfed. Villagers are going home. Running is getting the blocks. Running gets the kill, and Running gets the scout there. So he gets one villager. Still holding some control on water. Man, well played from Running. I'm really impressed with the tiny details he's paid attention to here. I think water is pretty much a non-factor at this point. Maybe Running comes in here to take the Hulk. I'm not sure, but it's more about the eco. Running is mined through, but you need to scout out here now. So it looks like... Ooh, he has. Ooh. Oh, that would be... Oh, can you imagine the timing here? Lykev looping around. Lewis will never expect a Lykev back there. It is only one Lykev. The other detail, though, is that you also find all these buffaloes that could, in theory, come home and help your eco a little bit. Lewis thinks he's safe back here. The Lykev is back to attack, and Lewis sees it. That'll be one dead Vil, though. Lewis has done the right things. Just fight it back. You'll probably bring some military back here, but nice snipe from Running. Yeah, Running's got the strats right now. Playing it like a home map. I mean, forget about what we know about Running's results so far in this season, and you're looking at this like this is a very even matchup. I think relics will probably start to be the key here for Running. You should know the relics are always in the corners. And then there's that one in the middle. So maybe from his perspective, the middle is really important for that relic. Still think he should drop the third TC pretty soon. For Lewis, he's showing that he's going Jean Bays. So that's some information for Running. I don't think that's horrible, though, because Lewis does that. He does delay his town centers. Lewis has... His economy has certainly seen better days. It doesn't seem extremely efficient right now. And Running will drop the third TC, and he's just going to run around the outside and get the relic in the middle now. So... T90, what takes down a dock faster, a Hulk or a fire? I'm not actually sure, to be honest with you. I think a fire ship would. I think a fire ship should be more, but... I haven't seen it enough times, to be honest. Why would he pick Turks here? Turks are one of the best late game civs there is. Turks are one of the best civilizations with maps that have a lot of stone and a lot of gold, which is one of them. So I really like the Turks pick. The weakness for the Turks is all the early game stuff. You don't get the bonuses that the Wei do with the additional villagers, but early bombard cannons, cav archers with 100 HP, artillery, bombard cannons with extra range. I mean, Turk late game is really hard to stop, and running, that's probably his strength over someone like Lewis, is the late game. He already has one relic. It's taken Lewis a lot of time to bring his army forward because he spent so much time massing them, but also in his own base, and more like have are running around as well. Should be at least 2 relics for running. Maybe this monk ends up getting sniped, though. And he will. Hello, monk. Goodbye, monk. Oh my god, what if Lewis trapped himself with the relic? What if he killed that monk and the relic stood in that tile? Is that possible? Oh, man, I actually think that's possible. That would have been so funny, dude. Wow. That's a 1-tile gap he was standing in. If that relic dropped here, like right beyond it, those units would be stuck. Whew. And where the relics go is not always exactly where the monk dies. Example A. The relic is inside the base. But I think running is still going to end up getting 3. The problem for him is... Light Cav alone... Oh, Light Cav are in the back. I'm so sorry. T90 blind. He killed a couple villagers back here. But yeah, eventually you need to fight the Janbeis. This is a unit that is pretty tricky to deal with once it gets to good numbers. His food eco isn't fantastic to go for camels or for more Light Cav, but I think camels would be a really good call. He is walled in most areas. Here we just have a random Hulk against the dock again. The kings are in the towers. Do you want to do something fun, guys? I might regret doing this. But how about for every king that is sniped from here on out in the season, I will gift 50 subs to the channel. Does that sound good? For every king that's sniped the rest of the season. In all leagues. In all leagues. Not even just this league. In platinum and in gold. Let's do it. Let's do it. Make things interesting. Suddenly people are a lot more interested in the game, it seems. I swear, we never see king snipe. So if people start sniping kings, something is up. I'm going to have a word with a few players if they actually end up sniping kings all of a sudden. All right, hold on. Let's set some rules. Let's set some rules. What if someone's already dead and they send their king forward? That doesn't count. Hold up. Back up. No deal. If a player is already dead and they send their king to its death, that does not count, okay? There's a lot of players listening. It does not count. Because you know how it goes. Normally people GG and they never let their king die. But if that were to suddenly change, that's because of the deal. We will have a council, which will be very fair and unbiased council that will decide on if a game was decided via the king snipe or if it was already over, okay? A council being the admins that I pay to to run this event. No, it's all right. I will be fair with you, but I thought that would be fun. I kind of regret it now. Janbeis getting some snipes around the back for Lewis. Lewis has maintained a nice villager lead. The Janbei count's getting pretty high. He doesn't have bloodlines yet, though. Making Janbeis and not getting bloodlines is like... I think of a real-life example, but it's very, 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 very bad. Because your unit only has 36 HP, so... Bloodlines adds a significant increase, percentage-wise, of HP to this unit. Would be lovely to see them consider demos here. Neither player is. Running is considering the Imperial Age, and running, as long as he gets a second building, he can click up. And we've all been there. A little late with the second building. I find it much easier to play light cav, though. You could just patrol a couple light cav around, and they can always win fights in low numbers. The issue for Lewis is going to be, or the issue for running, rather, is going to be in the direct engagements. And we might have a direct engagement here. Forward castle from Lewis. I think the army is too weak for running. He's clearly waiting for Imp. This is a lot of pressure. Running, do not lose your freaking king, bro. Seriously, I swear. Your king is in the tower. That is your life, okay? If you lose it, you lose $30, and very good odds you get relegated. Win the game, keep your king alive, please. The garrison for running happens. The John Bays are so weak. No bloodlines is so bad. So bad. I think he's gone too far. He's gone too far. He's going to lose his whole army. I could be wrong. But if running properly takes this engagement, I think the John Bays are toast. Oh, man. There is actually... Oh, God. Horrible. Just horrible engagement for Lewis. Could not have been worse for him. The castle's great. But that was brutal. He might have been looking in the back of his base because the light cav were still back there. But running is already on the way to Imperial Age. Running will drop a castle here. Running can immediately make trebs and maybe bombard cannons to push this castle back. And running gets the Hussar upgrade for free. Lewis could be in trouble. Running can now just move immediately to his base. If he spots this castle, this could be a denial. Lewis doesn't even have that many villagers building it, and Lewis does not have bloodlines. Again, the Jean base, 36 HP right now. Is extremely weak. And oh man, the Hussar upgrade will be in any moment as well. This could be good for running. He's still behind an eco though, so he needs some big damage. I like the walls on the outside. Also, props to Lewis for getting 3 relics. Lewis has done for missing bloodlines and losing all that army. Everything else he's done has been really solid here. But yeah, now this gets messy. Now the Hussars can just dive. And trebuchets will be coming in for running. It's tough when your woodlines is basically opening up the back of your base. I think running needs to have some confidence that he can move through there. And just go for the raids. Like that's a situation where I think those Hussars should continue to run through. But still is being pressured. Still is losing this town center. It's a tiny detail, but I'd like to see him repair this TC. Losing a town center is really bad in these scenarios. Lewis's castle is giving him a lot of time. Running is going to take the middle water. And the eco is just wide open back here. There's nothing over here. Running is overthinking it, I think. Like, there's nothing over here, dude. You were there. You're exactly where you needed to be. This is the location you need to raid right now. I guess he'll come to that conclusion in a moment when he's not finding anything from Lewis over on the left-hand side. I think he thought Lewis had resistance and Lewis had army, but Lewis is Castle Age army, and you've got Imp army now, my dude. Light Cav needs to get in. Lewis has a 30 villager lead. Lewis will think about pikemen, which is a great call, combined with the Jean base. And castle for Lewis on the front will go down. Running just 2 town centers, though. So recovering economically gets really difficult for him. And tech switching gets difficult when you're down this much in eco. So you could just hit a wall where you're playing in towards, like, Camel and Hussar against Haubs. And that's why that timing was extremely critical for him to get the raids in. Look at all the blue dots from Lewis around the map, too. Outposts around. I think both players should be walling the outside and building gates there so they can pass through and the opponent cannot. And yeah, Lewis is held. Running was an imp for a full 3 minutes. But he lost his town center. He didn't kill that many vills. He's only killed 10 villagers this game. Seems to me like he will attempt a tech switch. And it's a very good tech switch, but it takes a lot of time and resources. He wants cav archers. Lewis just running around with the Tiger Cav, forcing running to chase. And now Lewis will bring his army. He will find the tech switch. Finding the tech switch. This is precisely what running could have done to Lewis with the Hussars, where the barracks were going up, right? But now, like, none of the units can hop out. The villagers building the buildings are getting sniped. We have Lou! We have a Lou Schwan. Kind of like a cannon galleon longboat hybrid. And guys, the oars actually move in the new patch. Wait for that ship to move again and watch it. Look at it. They're rowing now. Took us 27 years to get people to actually row with their boats. Let's go. Guys, Lewis has just exploded with population. He's got 200 pop. There was a window there for running, but the TC count for Lewis is insane. The eco expansion on the outside behind this is insane. Running would just... He really has to play the perfect game from here. Every unit needs to be extremely well microed. And he's still very late to getting the mass that he needs. The difference in economy is crazy. And a castle in the middle of the map for Lewis. He's got the loose swans here, pressuring the houses. I really hope he can't range that tower. I think Running's window was on the right-hand side. It was before the barracks went up. It was exactly where he was, but he didn't trust his hussars. Now, I don't know how it goes. I think Running's in a better position if he goes on the right side. I'm not saying he wins the game, but I think it's very easy to overthink things and try and do something that is completely unnecessary when the pressure is high. And when you also lack confidence, right? When you lack confidence, you feel like you need to do more than what is necessary. I think him being here with like 15 units and just leaving to the left side, it really slowed him down. Also, just the detail of still being on 2 town centers is rather difficult for him too. Where on earth is the king? Get into the freaking castle. Sorry, the bet has made this really tense for me. I probably shouldn't have done that. King is going back. He's going to save his king so it doesn't get sniped. He does have Sipahi, so the Turk Cav Archers are getting there. He does have good resources to maybe get heavy Cav Archer. He is microing back his camels. He is taking good trades here. But Lewis, probably realizing he needs something other than just Jean Bays, is going to play Tiger Cav now. What Turks need is they need gold all the time. If you can play heavy camel and full Cav Archer, you can beat the way here still. Like that Tiger Cav are expensive unit to be tossing away there. Lewis maybe needs to think about the outside a little bit. Start to raid. Like maybe the north there's an avenue. He's really positioning his castles for the late game though. All these castles are really strong. But Running's held on, guys. Running is held on. His army seems really strong right now. The Cav Archers are definitely a tough unit to deal with. And yes, Tiger Cav is good against archers, so they'd be good against the Cav Archers, but they would be weak against the camels. And Running for now still does have a decent amount of golds. He does have 40 on food. The boats are rowing in the middle. People are excited, I think. Maybe. As excited as they can be about boats. Heavy Cav Archer is in. Lewis, things have slowed down a little bit for him. He's thinking about structure. He's thinking about what could be a grind of a game, right? Which is the smart play, but... Man, I mean, it really just comes down to where the camels engage for Running. He's raiding with camels right now. That is not where the camels need to be. So he doesn't really have that many. It's also tough. The traction trebs just right out of the siege workshop get 14 range. For Turks, they need to spend 600 food and 650 gold to match that range. Traction trebs, any civ that gets them, insane advantage if you're patient. This castle on the left from Running might just be spotted by Lewis. Lewis has outposts everywhere. Guys, this is Lewis's fog of war. It looks like all visible right now. And there's a gold there. But yeah, Lewis might just need to send his Tiger Cav and his traction trebs over there immediately. He saw it, and he converted one of the camels there. Okay, Lewis will take the main fight. Here we go. Tiger Cav are a ridiculously strong unit. If the camels are gone, maybe the Tiger Cav can win the fight. The camels go directly into the Halbs. This double melee comp is super tough to engage into with the camels. And I think Lewis still knows he's got the better position. The Tiger Cav are keeping the siege busy, and the Cav Archer's busy for Running. Running has to fall back. And over on this side, maybe Lewis can just focus down this castle. There's just not enough camels. And this double comp of melee units is just extremely strong for Lewis. The traction trebs will move on to the town center. Takes so long to kill the Tiger Cav. Lewis has more of them in queue, and the loose swans are still here to support. I don't think they can range the castle. But pretty soon, Running will be on 1 TC. Yeah, it's just castle v castle here. I think the traction trebs can always move that way. I remember Lewis playing Wu at one point, and I thought he was a little late to playing Hussar. It was then that game against Andy. I think at this stage, if gold is going to run dry, granted, there's still a decent amount of it, but you do have to maybe consider Hussar. Obviously, you don't if you just win the game right now. You win the game by spending the golds, then that's not a concern. And I think he's well on that path, man. These things just don't die. Tiger calves are ridiculous. Guys, they get more HP, and they get more attack for every kill they get. And you do not need to research a unique tech to get that bonus. If there was a unit in present-day Age of Empires that does not feel like the others, it might be the Tiger Calf. And Lewis switching to that was a game changer. Well played to him. Lewis 2-0. Oh, man. I kind of want to go back to it. This isn't me trying to be critical, right? But this is the highest level of Age of Empires, and I feel like there was a really strong advantage here. You just took some damage. You're losing your town center. You're under some pressure. You should know Lewis has the superior eco. Just feel like running, like from what we know, like all the eco's back here, and from what he knows, all the eco's back here. He didn't have his upgrades yet, so like. Maybe he felt like he didn't have the armor yet, so he couldn't be underneath town centers. But look what Lewis actually has here for resistance. He has 7 Jean Bays, which have been horrible. Remember, they were not doing anything. And then he's just got, like, villagers and town centers. And then, like, running moves, he goes here, and then he goes here, and there's nothing there. And then Lewis uses the area that should be being raided to boom. So, you know, from my perspective, running had a window there. And by the time he gets back here, then his opponent has the pikeman. Then his opponent has more army. Then his opponent is an imp. But I really felt like that was the key. I think with Turks getting the extra Pierce armor too, maybe there shouldn't be as much hesitation underneath town centers. Very tricky. Either way, amazing play from Lewis to hold on. Gets the 2 wins. His economy was the key. More wood, more food, and more stone collected that game. Wow. But yeah. I would you guys agree, though, for those that watch, that running has brought a better level today compared to the first two? You don't have to. I think he has. I think it's been very sharp. I liked his game plans. Like, he's had time windows in every game. In the first 2 rounds, it felt like he kind of crumbled under pressure really early. Maybe didn't look as motivated or prepped. Jingle Fox says, I think Lewis isn't playing well. Nah, I think Lewis is playing well. I think Lewis is playing really well. All right, so new DLC just came out, The Last Chieftains. They introduced 3 civs. But what they also did is they changed the Incas. And so I'm catching up to live time. Now, instead of Eagles, you have a Champy Scout. And I think the key thing to mention here is the Incas still have the bonus of getting additional population space from their houses. But hold on, I actually think Lewis has scuffed the build, but let me calm down. You get extra pop space from your houses, and then you have settlements now. But Lewis has not gone... He screwed up the build order here. He's going to get housed. Okay, maybe he's still fine. He's going instant drush, instant militia, and running knows it as well. People have been talking about this, and running is early walling, which is so good if he gets the wall. Garrison! Brother! Oh my god, oh my god. Oh, dude, if he just places a house and Garrison's there, the build is dead. And now they're in. Lewis is through, and Lewis is thinking about leaving. Tell me running saw that. Okay, running saw that. He's walling here. He's walling on the other side here. But, yeah, this is a lot of early pressure. And the Champy Scout moves very quickly. This is due to the new DLC, and that is the Mongol boar right now, and Lewis is going to kill the boar with his champies. This is 3 minutes into the game. This is, there's the Mapuche, there's the Muisca, there's the Tupi. All those civs are strong, but I think the new Incas are crazy strong. And now if Lewis wants a settlement, you get population space from that as well. Wow. Again, players get 5 bans. There were no bans on the Incas, which was to my surprise. I thought we would see Incas banned. It was not the first pick. And Lewis is like, haha, you're Mongols, you don't get the hunt. Good luck to you, my friend. But running's chilling. Like, he'll move out here for the hunt, which is still good for the Mongols. He refuses to get Loom to fight this back. So the settlement now, you can drop off every single type of resource at the settlement. Technically, I think Lewis should be placing the settlement here then, so he can take gold and wood. But the reason this build is insane is because you get pop space from your eco buildings and you get extra pop space from your houses. So they basically, all the civs get pop space from the settlements, but they continued with the Inca bonus of getting the extra pop space from the houses. And then you combine that with the speed of the champies. It makes for a very, very strong early game rush. But beyond that, I mean, the bonuses are solid. Your units are cheaper in each age. All these things are pretty comparable to what the Incas were before. Running's, I love this. Running is still eating the boar, so he'll actually get lots of food. I feel like Running needs to play Feudal Age and he needs to play Archers here. And he will go for the repairs here on the house. And he has been, all things considered, very patient against this. And he when he's in Feudal Age, which could be faster, could have a very solid build. Lewis. Looks like he's building up towards another settlement. Again, look at the population space now. Basically, if you don't need to build houses, that is wood spend for everything else. He's got 45 pop space in Dark Age, just playing a standard Dark Age. So my order of civs that are like broken or strong with the new DLC and the new balance, Incas first. Then after that, I would go to maybe some of the other civs. But I think Incas is clearly a little bit stronger due to this rush alone. Lewis will place another settlement on the golds. He still has the champions, of course, but they're still walled in. Running is keeping them here. He might regret that eventually, but one of them's pretty weak. And he's taking double food on the sides. Feels like very high risk, high reward. Lewis goes for the blocking here, and Running will lose the Ville. It's so tough. Militia are so much slower than the champions. So it's really, really easy for the champion player to get the block there, and finally Lewis gets his first villager kill, at least. Lewis will make more champions now. More champions, more settlements. Again, look at his pop space. It's not normal, dude. He's just building eco buildings. It's not like he's doing anything that you wouldn't typically do in a game. Like, it'd be a mining camp, a lumber camp, a mill. 65 population space right now. And it will go from Champy Scout to Champy... Is Running trying Fast Castle? Hold up, what? Oh my goodness, Running is trying Fast Castle. I think he's out of hope. I think he's going for the ultimate risk. There is no way you can go Fast Castle here, man. So think of this Champy Scout to Champy Runner upgrade, kind of like upgrading to Man-at-Arms. But like, dude, Running, Lewis is always going to check the sides. He can see everything inside your base. Like, he clearly knows you are not there with everything. And so Lewis knows the map. Running is now running from the left side, and maybe Lewis doesn't expect him on this side. I can understand it from Running's perspective. It's been a painful season. It hasn't been an easy start, and oh god, he's missing 3 food to go Castle Age, guys. 3 food. Where's the food game? There we go. He's on the way up. But there's a tower now onto the gold from Lewis, and it's just perfect. Because when you go for this Fast Castle, you sell off your stone, you can't counter tower. And now Running has some big decisions to make on what he does long term. Lewis will add the farms back at home. Lewis will add some archers as well. I love the adaptation here from Lewis. The build was certainly something to talk about. As well executed builds. It was a little critical at the start, but he made it work. But just the adaptation to understand that there's going to be units on the side is really smart. What is the plan for running when he gets to Castle Age? Like, Lancers, maybe? Which would mean he needs the barracks and the stable yet. And he's just so at the limit with his resources. For Lewis, the goal was a 3-0 today because that's what the other players have done. He was a little nervous about that. I think he felt he was the favorite, but like... He was like, it would be just like me to maybe lose a couple games here to running and then be behind the others in the group. Nice walls behind from running. He still doesn't really have a lot of res. He needs to keep the units out. Ooh, super close. I'm practicing my British sayings because I'm going to be in London in April. I think this is where the Brits would say squeaky bum time. That's what it is for running. Lewis does not think that running came back out here. Lewis did not check over here to see that there's villagers here. That's a British saying, right? I thought it was a British saying, no? I don't know. You guys tell me. Look, I'm trying to be respectful of Lewis here. Lancers are coming out for running. I could be respectful of running and say 9, you know. Don't do that at Red Bull. I know. I got to get it out of my system now. All right. Running's going for Knights. He's in Castle Age. He's only lost 2 vills. Maybe it's acceptable. He isn't on gold, which is the issue. Oh, and he's been spotted over here. Oh, no. Oh, no. I said only lost 2 vills. He's going to lose even more. It's just high risk, high reward. It's Lewis's map. It's been Lewis's day. Now you just need to get the same amount of counter damage with the Knights. This is the correct play from running. Get into Lewis's base ASAP. If you're Lewis, you just spam Spearman to hold against this. If you can get enough Spearman at home to hold, even if you're in Feudal Age, you still have the superior economy. Let's see. He's panic walling. First Knight is here. Nice quick wall. Running is checking the sides. Dude, Lewis's defense is crazy. It's so good, though. Like, getting both those walls down just in time, calculating this as well, it's all right down to the final second. For that to be down to the final second in every single moment, it can't just be chance, right? It's just comfort in understanding these ridiculous timings. Running is on the gold over on the left side. So that was a nice adaptation because he can't take this gold. But he needed in. Very well played. I think, like, just that period of silence there. Maybe he caught the Knights running past his archer range, but he knew it was happening. Still isn't walled on this side, but he should be. And now he's on the way to Castle Age. So, I think what I would have really liked to see here against this. Now, I think it would... Oh, boy. Oh, no. Oh, no. He's been found. He's been found. Oh, and the GG is called. Lewis gets the sweep. Heartbreaker for running because I felt like game number 1 and game number 2 he had his chances. But obviously on Lewis's home map, he took a risk here and Lewis gets the 3-0. Just a great job from Lewis. Again, we have 5 bans per player here. There's lots of conversation about the new DLC and the new balance changes. The players knew it's coming in mid-event. Be ready for it today. There was no Inca ban. It was a later pick for Lewis. They made it work well with the early Champy rush. But I just think Lewis did such a great job adapting here. He pressured early, yes, but his economy behind it was really solid all game. The tower rush onto the golds at the time he had it was perfect. The recognition that, oh, he's going to take food on the sides here, fighting that, perfect. Fighting this, perfect. And then coming back here even. Like, to recognize, okay, there's a stone side and there's a gold side. I already scouted the stone side. He has to be taking gold and going here as well. And getting the walls. Sheesh. I mean, that's some play that's so clean that you could maybe take it for granted. So Lewis is a serious threat in the group. He's very well prepared. And, yeah, fun set. Fun set. Let's look at the odds now. I think for running that, well, you know what? We have once had someone make playoffs with 6 wins. The group played out a bit differently, but technically, he should still have chances, but hard to have a lot of belief right now, I imagine. Lewis wins 3-0. Oh, there we go. According to this, running has 0.4% chance of survival now. So there is a chance. But yes, that would probably be him winning 3-0 in the last 2 rounds. And then other things going his way. I think Andy and Nikov would have to have a really rough time or something. And then for Lewis, he's got 6 wins after 3 rounds. That Nikov-Lewis series is going to be really valuable. I think the Sebastian-Lewis series is going to be really valuable. Basically, if he wins those sets, he probably goes into the playoff position. But, yeah, great series. Lewis, hello, my friend. How are you feeling?
Hello. I'm good. How are you?
I'm good. I know you were a little nervous. At least that's what you said, because everyone else had got the 3-0 versus running. That maybe if you dropped a game or two, it would look horrible for you in the standings. So you got the job done.
Well, the thing about it, right? If I lose like 1 game or 2 games of running, then it's like my win versus Andy and my win versus ACCM is like not as important, right?
Yep.
Like it doesn't count. So
Yep.
I think winning 3-0 was like super important.
I want to first ask you questions about the draft here, right? Because with the new civs coming in, everyone's been, freaking out. Were you... So you only banned 2 of the new DLC civs, and you waited to the last second. Is it correct to say that you were kind of waiting to see if running would ban them first? How did you approach it?
So since I'm the host, I don't want to ban Chinese and Persian since those are like the top 2 civs on Stranded.
Yep.
And maybe even that Regicide map. So I was like, okay, I don't ban those 2, and then I can get 1 of them at least. Or I should get 1, and then the rest of the civs I left them. He wasn't banning them, so I had to start banning them towards the end.
Okay. So do you think Muisca and Tupi are stronger than, say, Incas or Mapuche? Because you banned them. Or do you just are you not as comfortable with them yet because they're still new?
Tupi is... Wait. Let me load the tech tree. I just want to make sure I'm talking about the right one.
Yeah, that's completely fair.
So Tupi is like Ultra Cancer with the super fast like Champi Rush, I think it's called, because they have like extra res and they can build a house and a barracks, everything insta.
Yeah.
And then the other one, which one did I ban?
Muisca.
I think those are the ones with extra armor. Yeah, I played versus this in a practice game. I just couldn't kill. I was playing full knights and they're just killing me. So I was like, yeah, I'm not going to play against that.
Okay. My impression was that the best civ for the early for the Champi Rush was Incas, just because of the pop space being insane.
Yeah, it's Incas. I think honestly, Incas is the most broken civ at the moment because
for that
you build 1 house. Yeah, you build 1 house. And then that's all you need to build. You don't have to go for the insta drush thing, right?
Yep.
I can build 1 house and then build my wood line, like my lumber camp, which counts as 10 pop. And you don't need another house until late Castle Age. It's ridiculous.
Yeah, agreed. I mean,
basically hunts.
The second I saw the balance change, it was my first, because we already saw the early drushing before the settlements, right? So I was like, all right, well,
I'm dying to that so much.
So, but in the end, we got to see the civilizations played. Game 1, you went with Persians, which was your number 1 pick. We had Hawks incorporated and not Fires. So, like, how much of those engagements felt normal to you or, like, comfortable to you?
Honestly, I hate this Hulk edition. Like, it just feels like you just patrol them in, you look away, right? It's like,
hold on.
Fire ships?
Let me play devil's advocate. Is that not similar to Fires?
Not necessarily, because with Fires, you have to look out for the demo. But now they've nerfed the demo, and it's way more expensive. So it's like, if someone makes a demo, they've lost, you know?
My feeling is you just revert the demo and put demos back where they were, and then then it's not as bad. But yeah, I definitely watched Running's demos hit, and I was expecting the demos to get better value for what they are. So
he made demos? I wasn't even, I
So,
wasn't even, I didn't see a single, I wasn't even watching. I was just patrolled them in and looked elsewhere.
well, so he made two demos on the left side, but I speculated that it was really hard to tell the difference because they have the same sail, right? Before, very easy to tell the
Ah.
difference between the fire and the demo, but now they have the same exact sail, and like you're doing a million other things when you're playing the game. I was staring directly at it, and it was even tough for me to tell the difference. But yeah, he made two demos, and I didn't really get analytical on the cost of it, but yeah, it was not worth it for the
Well,
numbers. So,
thanks for letting me know.
um,
Yes. Also, like it's the similar thing with I think Wei, right? You have the Xambi Riders, the Tagakav, and the Hei Guang. They look all very similar.
yeah,
Like I feel like units in these new patches look very similar. Where it's like I remember I had a
Dude.
game versus Andy in TTL on I think it was Quarry. I forgot the elite upgrades. I didn't know. Like it
the
just looked
core game.
elite.
And
Yeah.
I actually didn't even notice when I was casting until you researched Elite. I was like, oh shoot. But honestly, I do think a fair amount of that is just literally getting used to it. Um, you weren't playing back then, but when the definitive edition first came out, people who had been playing the earlier versions with the before the enhanced graphics were really unhappy with the DE graphics. People were like, "Oh my god, all the units look the same. Like champions look like Arbalest, Arbalest look like champions." But then like a little bit of time goes by and then you just kind of get used to it. So hopefully with some of these things that'll be the case. Because it's tough for us to have change, right? Because we just play thousands of games with the same things.
Yeah, I hope so too. I think overall the new DLCs, I think like I don't think it's that bad. I think they're somewhat balanced. I think the only issue is the start of the game. Like you
Yeah.
just get so much for free, which you don't even see.
Yeah.
Like you can make one of those settlements on a gold, a woodline, and next a deer. And it's
Yeah.
like you have 3 for 1. It's like Japanese basically.
Yeah.
Japanese on steroids, right? It's
Yeah, the early
nuts.
games are very strong for the new civs. Agreed with you. I think the late games probably not quite as strong, but you know, for this
Mm,
level, you're probably going to see the early game be the reason you pick them. Um, but I want to move
I
on.
think sorry, go on.
I want to move on to game number 2.
Okay.
Real quick. First off, this is a very specific thing. Did you realize you almost got your units trapped by a relic when you killed that monk next to the wood line?
I think I know what you mean, but I have no clue what you're talking
Okay,
about.
so
Like on
basically,
the little hill?
if you got extremely unlucky, you had like 5 Jean-Bays that came forward at the top of that little hill next to Running's base, and you killed the monk with the relic, right?
Yeah.
When you shot the monk with the relic, we almost had this ridiculous clip because you were in a one-tile choke, and if the monk would have dropped the relic in the tile in front of you, I pretty sure your units would have been trapped by the relic. And you never know where the monks are going to throw the relics, right? So there was a chance it
Yeah.
would have happened. I was wondering
I'm
if
not sure how the. Sorry, go on.
I was just wondering if that was ever in your mind at all. Probably not.
No, I'm not sure how the relic drop works. Like, does that one relic cover that entire tile so I cannot move at all, or is it like half a tile?
I think it
I'm not
can be.
sure.
I think it can be dropped on
Hmm.
half a tile, so it would depend. But like that game where MBL walled with the relic in Red Bull, where you, like an idiot, and then you picked up the relic and ran in. Clearly you could like just straight up block armies from moving. So if it was yeah, I thought that was a funny moment, but like beyond that, more seriously, did you think you were in trouble when you saw his imp time there and then he started to have some hussars raiding you and you had very low army?
No, like I was originally planning to go all in like Castle Age with the Tiger Cav and like some pikes or something, but I kind of messed up my economy so bad. I played that game macro wise terribly. Like I think I made like one TC in my little section, then I
Yeah.
made the second TC there, then I made the third TC on the back, and I had like no space for farms. I was on like 20 farms the entire game until I started expanding out to the sides. So
But like if he continues to pressure the right-hand side from my perspective with hussars, you had like no space to build your barracks. That he left that right-hand side. If he applies continuous pressure there, my assessment was it's not over, of course. You still probably have the lead, but it would have been problematic for you. It did seem like a really awkward minute or two.
yeah. I just know, like, in this matchup, if I get to Tagicav plus help, he can't do anything.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah,
there's
yeah.
nothing he can make. It's
Yeah.
the same when you play Persians, right?
Yep.
You get the Savar help, then
Yep. And you're just
Turks
buying
can't do
yourself
anything.
time. Yep. Okay. And then game 3, I mean, game 3 went for the early build. I think running just went super high risk, high reward. I'm sure his spirit was a little bit broken. So not much I can really ask you about that one, to be honest.
I think if I only made one Champy Warrior and then my like main one, I could have gotten to the back of his base and maybe done some damage, right? But I think I waited for my third one.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
had to delay it a little bit. So I think if I just went with 2, then it's probably better.
Okay.
I can actually like hit things, right?
Well, we don't have the sets today, but I'll ask you what your predictions are for your group then for this round. Nikov Sebastian and then ACCM freaking Andy. You're probably rooting for. Well, tell me both. Tell me what you expect and also kind of what you want to happen here, because it's tough for you. You want to pass people, but everyone can pass you. So
Nikov Sebastian, I'd expect maybe like a 2-1 Sebastian.
Mm-hmm.
But I would like a 2-1 Nikov.
Yep.
And then Andy ACCM, I'd like a 3-0 Andy. That'd be nice as well. So it puts everyone very close to each other.
Well, I don't know if you're doing this, but I know some players in silver and gold, the second they play somebody in round 1 and round 2, they immediately are training with the person they just played, because it only benefits them to improve those players to help them throughout the rest of the group stage. So something to consider. Maybe send all your OP strategies to Andy and Nikov. See how that works out.
I gotta save them for Nikov and Sebastian.
Oh yeah, true. I guess in this case it would only be Andy, right? Because you already played Andy, so.
Yeah, I mean, I have the head-to-head of Andy, so, and also he's 0-2, I think so.
Yeah. So you're in a good spot.
I want Nikov to win, and I want Andy to win for sure, because if they can keep ACCM and Sebastian down, then maybe I have a chance of winning the group. Who knows?
Okay, awesome. Well, yeah, that's pretty much it, man. I just wanted to hop in and hear your thoughts. We have a little bit of time before the next series, Leary versus Tato. Congratulations. I can tell you're playing very well and you're very prepared. So appreciate it, man.
Thank you.
I'll let you go, Lewis. Take care.
Yeah.
Good luck in the rest of TTL.
Right. See you later.
Bye-bye.